Okay, so before we do the housing video, which is going to be next, this one's going to be on Hunter Biden. All right, so this is not probably going to be as long as it is because, both sides always do this to each other. And for me, I don't want to be a page where it's just like, oh, this guy's just a conservative or he's just a left-leaning person. No, I just really want to be a person in the center. Of course, I'm going to tell you, hey, this is my opinion. This is opinion time versus, hey, this is real. This is what I, or these are the facts, right? So let's start off with it real quick. So if you don't know, here's the story in a nutshell. Somehow and this is what I'm saying. I really don't want to make a comment of what I think, like, oh, this or that. I just want to tell you what I know because I just think it's really interesting. I want to hear you guys' comments on it. Like I said last night, it was just blowing my mind. Like, this is something out of like a movie, man. This is crazy. And this is going to be an all opinion piece, guys. 110%, just completely my opinion. Nothing to do with, just my opinion. All right. So don't hold my feet to the fire to this thing. Basically, there's a laptop that shows up. I think it was a year ago, and at a computer repair shop. Okay. Computer repair shop. Well, boom. He's looking through it, which I don't even know how he would get his password because we all know how hard MacBooks and everything are to enter into. So that's green light number one. Okay. So they're looking through it and then boom, hey, who's this guy? Oh shit, here's the big guy, Joe Biden. You're like, oh my God, crack pipe, hookers, underage girls, and a bunch of other shit. What is going on here, right? The guy goes, okay, we're gonna go ahead and send this off to the FBI. So supposedly he sends it off to the FBI. Nothing happens. He had made a copy of the hard drive. Then he decides to do something with it. Then somehow it ends up in the Republican Party's hands or Trump's hands, which to me, it already like this. Okay, so let's just get there real quick. Let's stop right there real quick. And the computer had water damage. So first off, FBI gets something like this. Being in law enforcement, we're not always just going to act just because you got to get to the bottom of the story. And it takes a time to build a case, right? You can't just blow your load and just be like, well, we got something. No. Fortunately, for all sides, America is innocent until proven guilty, right? We have to remember that. So no matter what you hear, what you see, we have to follow the law. So, I get it. I get it. I get the left side. I'm like, Twitter banning and saying, oh, we don't want to show this because it was illegally obtained, right? Just like WikiLeaks and stuff like that. Now, that's the letter of the law, right? Because in law enforcement, I tell you, there's a letter of the law and there's a spirit of the law, right? The letter of the law is, this is it. You were speeding, you were going 66 into 65, you're getting a ticket, that's it. The spirit of the law says, well, okay, come on, man, he's going one over. The law is really intended to keep people safe and whatever. Does that pretense fall into something like this, something that is so big, if all this is true? Yes, but at the same time, I will say this. The way that the evidence was obtained, that is illegal search and seizure in a sense, right? Because, and I'll tell you why. Here's the case. Okay, the laptop is left at a computer repair shop. Same thing if you leave a car somewhere, you leave anything anywhere, it's in a lost and found. They have a policy that says, hey, you don't pick this thing up in 30 days, 90 days, 100 days, whatever it is, it's ours because, it charged this much time in our area, whatever the case is. Okay, for this case in the computer, okay, the computer is yours, but does that give you the right to have all the intellectual property and all the pictures and personal stuff that's in a computer? Because if I leave my phone somewhere and it's unlocked and you have access to my trading account, now are you the owners of the stock? You know what I mean? Or if you see, a really cool picture that I took of like a product I'm about to make, now do you own that picture? No, right. Like, you know what I mean? Like it would be, because we're in a different time now, but to me, and the way I interpret things, and a reasonable, rational person would, you're just entitled to the computer. So how the hell did you get my personal stuff, right? This is a very gray line. And as bad as it looks for Hunter Biden and the Bidens and all that, if that means we have to let them walk free in order for Americans and just people's in general's rights, rights to be protected, I'm willing to do that. Because you're going to set a precedence which says if a hacker hacks into your account and sees something they don't like, or to your phone, that everybody's vulnerable. Well, you were doing something bad. It doesn't matter how it was obtained, because that's the same rationale. Me being a cop, if I come over, I pull you over, I'm like, get out of the car. Why? Because I have a suspicion that you're doing something. You know what I mean? And I'm going to be able to, if I see something after I did this illegally, if I took the search illegally, now you're going to jail, right? It's not really that far of a stretch. I mean, the car thing is because it's not really there. So this is really going to come down to phones. Like, for example, if you leave your phone at a school, right? And if the school's like, okay, no one picks it up, it's over the summer break, they start looking through it and they find out you have all the test answers or something like that. Should they have a right to be able to look through it? And does that mean you're going to get expelled? I don't know. It's like this slippery slope, right? So first off, that's like the main question for me is like, okay, I get it. All this shit's out there already. We're going to have to deal with this shitstorm. Like, it is what it is. But when it comes to legal precedents, did they obtain this the right way? That's really going to be the X factor. And what is the law enforcement phrase, man? Jesus, I wish I could. Oh, I can pause it. I'm not going to pause it. I'm just going to think through it. It's like the spoiled fruit is what they call it, right? I'll figure out the exact terminology. But basically, if they look through this laptop, which they obtained illegally, or these images they obtained illegally, or whatever it is, and then they find out that he did all this dirty stuff, none of that stuff is going to be proven because there's already case law out there that says, it's like if I pulled you over and I illegally searched your car and I found a dead body in the car, the person's probably going to get away with murder. It's happened before. It's a real case out there like that. It's like rotten, spoiled fruit, and he's probably going to walk because of this. Now, that's my first thing. I need to figure out, Detective Joe Hall's on the case. We need to figure out how they obtained it and, what grounds they have to obtain it. Because just because you think someone did, and this is the biggest problem I had with the Democrats doing this for Trump, just because you think he did something, it doesn't give you the right to just throw someone's life upside down and go get it. No, there has to be a reasonable and rational reason to it, But okay, now that that's out of the way, all the boring shit's out of the way, I defended Biden in his case. And I was getting into the dirty murdy, all right? This guy smoking a crack pipe, saying I look cute, I might, go out tonight, whatever. That was a joke, by the way, but he really was smoking crack, supposedly. And basically, there's a guy called the big guy that's supposed to be Joe Biden. And they were using Biden's vice presidency to make payments, and his family was getting paid all over. And to me, it just seems very coincidental that it came out at this time, at this shop, in this way, in this manner. And even the guy that came out and said, yes, I, presided here, and that even seems, like I said, tinfoil hat, all opinion, I think I'm over that phase of being a conspiracy theorist. I think, but there's always a little itch, and for me, it's like, okay, I see the evidence. I see the bank account transfers. I see the text messages. I see the text messages where they're supposed to meet, where they're going to meet. I see that Biden is also there, and I see everything add up. But then the shit that gets me kind of like, whoa, hey, buddy, hey, this is adding up too smoothly. Everything is so smooth. It's like there's no flaw. Watch that Tucker Carlson video. Compare that to what the Democrats had on Trump, and it makes them look like it makes the Democrats look like a goddamn joke. Like, there is no holes, in this timeline, in this story, in this everything. And that's what makes me go, shit, is this set up? Can it really be that perfect? Because it's really it comes back to the computer. Computer, water damage, middle of nowhere, guy sends it to the FBI, gets a copy of the hard drive, finds everything. Everything comes out, at this time. It just makes me think, like, oh my God, this is just too perfect. But, I once we know more of the story, this is what I say. This is why I didn't want to make this. I didn't want to be that guy that just, put it out there, whatever's first. That's why I'm telling you right now, don't believe anything I'm saying. This is all my opinion. None of these are facts. None of these I mean, yes, there is a fact that there is a computer. Yes, there is a fact that, Biden and Hunter family, everything is linked. That's a fact. But what's really there? What's the real story? Is Biden corrupt? Is Hunter Biden corrupt? And Joe, we don't know the facts. And I would hate to hurt anyone's family or reputation off of just presumptions. Because if we're really going to call somebody out and we're going to, really drag them through the mud, there's no coming back from that. Because that's the one thing I hate about our society today is we're so quick to jump down someone's throat. But if we're wrong, we're like, oh, whatever, next story. Okay, so it's like, whoa, dude, you're going to damage someone's life, Like, whether you like Biden or not, you agree with his policies or not, you think he's corrupt or not, he's still a man. He has children. He has, he has grandchildren. He has a legacy. He gave 50 years of his life to something. And before we go and just try to tarnish this man's reputation, we gotta really look at it and see, okay, is this stuff all legit? And if it is, just like with Trump, if it is what it is. Let's, lock him up. Let's bring out the charges. Let's do everything, the right way. And I would say this in the defense of even the most worst and the most heinous criminals. I would even say this in the defense of Jeffrey freaking Epstein. I would say, let's gather all the information first and just present such a strong and overwhelming case that even if there are a few holes, it's just this strong case just overshadows anything that could be. And it's like a reasonable person would know that what we're seeing is true, what we're seeing is real, then we could, as a society, place judgment on that person. We should never just place judgment on a person just by hearsay and just, oh yeah, well I heard. No one gives a shit about what you heard. It's about what we know, what we could prove, and honestly what they admit to is like really the latter, but it's really on what we know and what we could prove, which are the facts. And that's all I'm gonna say about it. But to wrap it up, man, like it looks pretty bad, and there's gonna be more and more stuff that comes out. But don't forget about what I said in the beginning. I'm gonna wrap this video up in exactly 30 seconds or a minute. Laptop sent to the FBI, copy was made, nothing happened. They sent it, Republicans got it, bunch of incriminating stuff. More incriminating stuff is going to come out. It's linking stuff. My biggest thing is, we'll give someone the right to access a laptop or access property that is not, that the other person didn't give consent to, right? But it's out there, and now eventually we're going to have to hear an explanation for everything. And we're going to have to give, and this is why I hate the media just blasting it, right away. Because we already all have our perception, but we got to be open-minded. At least you 800 that follow me or watch this, we got to be open-minded. Listen to what the other person has to say, and we'll have to work through this logically and reasonably. And it's just going to be a wild time. It's just going to be a wild time, So and literally, man, 10 days before the election, it's just I'm waiting for Sunday or Saturday, even tomorrow, on Monday for more and more news and more details because, like I said, Pandora's box has been broken. So we'll see what really happens. But it's not looking good is all I got to say. And if you want to know more about it, obviously Google search it. It's literally every tabloid in America is talking about it. Every major station's talking about it. And you'll be able to get more information yourself. This was just strictly my opinion piece, okay? I just want to reiterate that. So don't ever hold me like, oh, this guy's just one way or the other way. Like, no, I'm always going to try to be as fair as I can. And if you think I'm saying something that's bullshit or whatever, voice it in the comments. I'll try to address it or address it in the next video. And if I think, hey, you know what, I was right, you were wrong, I'll say, hey, dude, I just won't acknowledge it probably, But if I'm wrong, I'll come out and I'll say I'm wrong, So anyways, I hope you learned something from it and at least were entertained or something. I don't know. If you like this video, share it with a friend. Help me grow the page. And I hope you have a great weekend or a great weekday, depending on when you're watching this, or I don't know, when I post it sometime in the future.